Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. With me today, we have Dakota and Jason. So,
What's up, everyone?
Oh, and hey everyone, I'm here. I'm Dakota. How are you doing?
He exists, but so today we're going to be talking about Smash, particularly what we played at E3. Dakota got tons of Smash time in, because he was, of course, at the Invitational, but we're going to pretty much be asking Dakota about his experiences with Smash. Jason and I will talk a little bit, but we didn't get nearly as much play time with it. So, Dakota, first of all, I think people are wondering, is this game more Melee or is this game more Brawl?
Oh God, it's its own game. That's a perspective we shouldn't have. Like it definitely has brawl tendencies. I'll give it that. It definitely. All right. I guess if I'm in a cave, it feels more like Brawl than Melee, but it's its own game really, and I think that's why we have to look at it. It's Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. That being said, it's definitely faster than Brawl. And I feel like it's definitely a game that's probably easier to like follow in terms of a spectator sport than Melee. In terms of competitive value, remains to be seen. I think obviously anything can have competitive value, and I think the game has a ton of potential and it's a lot of fun. So I don't know. In terms of Melee and Brawl, I think any player could probably have fun with it, but I think maybe Brawl players will gravitate towards it more at first. It'll probably feel more like their game, if anything.
So, do you think it has potential to take on wide tournament potential as like Melee has?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, all the Smash games are capable like that. Really, any video game is capable of that. In most cases, and there's some exceptions, but Super Smash Bros. Brawl, survived as a game. Well, not even survived. Thrived as a competitive game for a while, and is still played in tournament. So, this game I feel like is a more well designed game. There's a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining both to play and watch. And I think it has the potential to really expand past what Brawl did, and definitely rival Melee, cooperatively grow alongside of it. I think both Melee and Smash 4 will hit maybe different kinds of players, but will appeal to all Smash fans really. Or at least hopefully. I think it has the potential to appeal to a wide variety of smashers and fighting game and gamers, overall. So we'll have to see, because the game's still in development, and what we saw at E3 needs work if it's going to reach that potential. That's the thing. Like, it has the potential to be like a very huge esport, and the biggest fighting game around, but it's still that development needs to be hopefully going in the right direction.
All right. What about your favorite character? 'Cause, going to the Invitational, we heard from you that you wanted to get the Wii Fit trainer. In the end, you didn't. You got Little Mac, which turned out pretty okay for you, anyways. But which player do you like to play as?
Yeah, I was pretty salty that Wii Fit trainer got taken from me, and I still think she was a really good character and definitely better than Little Mac. But I think Little Mac was ultimately a very pleasant surprise. He's a lot of fun to play, very satisfying to use, especially in free for all. And he's a character I think when he's figured out by an opponent may get kind of walled out, because his air game is horrendous, as bad as everyone expected it to be, and worse. But there may be some potential in his aerials in terms of combos, but it's remains to be seen. His ground game, of course, is amazing, but again, you can't, if you get thrown, he's kind of in the worst position ever. But he's a lot of fun to use. And I think a lot of characters that are returning from the game from several installments in, like Pikachu, Mario, Kirby, characters that have been around for a while, have seen buffs and seem more fun to use, and even newcomers like Greninja, Wii Fit Trainer. Well, we saw a lot of kind of a campy Wii Fit Trainer in the free for all event, which was how I would have played Wii Fit Trainer if I was using her, because she does have a very good projectile game and long range game, but she's definitely a lot of fun to use too in 1v1s. Rosalina, looks like she has a high learning curve. She's definitely interesting. I'm not sure how much fun she is at a low level, because she's definitely hard to use. So that's the thing I like about this game, though, is that every character that's been introduced, especially like Villager and Mega Man, are very interesting and unique characters. I'm curious to see how the metagame kind of grows around these characters as they're used more and more in tournament.
So what about you, Jason? Which character have you enjoyed using?
Actually, I'm pretty casual, and I did more spectating than actually playing Smash at the event. I'm excited though with Little Mac and Mega Man, as Dakota was saying. Little Mac was just looking so satisfying. Just every time he lands that punch, just feels good to watch him land it. How about you, Eli?
Well, I'm a Kirby guy. I really like Kirby, so I've been playing as a.
Kirby's good, yo. Kirby's good. If anyone out there is a Smash 64 player and used Kirby, you may want to pick this game up because Kirby's back in action and probably the strongest he's ever been, since Smash 64.
Yeah, so Kirby's really interesting. The other character, Little Mac, looks really interesting as well, just because when I play Kirby, I really like to use the C-stick a lot. So he's like really physical on the ground, and I feel like Little Mac might be kind of a good fit since he plays on the ground very well.
That's pretty much. Well, the thing about Little Mac is smash attacks, which is what you'll get if you use a C-stick, is that all of his smash attacks have super armor, in which he can take attacks and take the damage but not the knockback, so he can continue with the move even if he gets hit by an opponent. And if you watch in the free-for-all, I'm actually kind of abusing this because I found that out pretty soon into using Little Mac, that all of his smash attacks and his neutral B have a ton of super armor, so you can go through and kind of parry and reversal a lot of characters just by having a well-timed smash. And free for all, you can just spam that. You can just have a fun time just smacking that C stick all day, and you'll probably get a couple kills with Little Mac here and there.
So Dakota, I'm curious. Sakurai was saying that Samus was actually proven to be the strongest character. Did you get a chance to play her?
I didn't actually. I tried to stay focused on the newcomers, so I pretty much played only newcomers. But yeah, we were told that apparently Sakurai thinks Samus is the best, one of the best characters in the game, if not the best. I definitely think Samus is buffed and much better than we think. Her forward air is a lot better, and it's a kill move. Her up B is a kill move, and I'm a Samus main in N64, so I kind of hope that Samus she's the worst character in that game, but I like using her. But I hope she's good in Smash 4. It's hard to tell because with the newcomer, with the veterans, they're building on established characters. Samus has been around for, this will be a 4th game, whereas these newcomers are so unique in their design that they're drastically different than the characters we've seen before. So Samus isn't going to be as much different than previous Samuses than a newcomer is to the rest of the cast, and in that respect, it's kind of hard to see how Samus is, at least from our perspective, jumped from one of the worst characters in Brawl to one of the best characters in Smash 4. Buffed definitely, but one of the best, if not the best, it's really hard to say. I think Zero Suit Samus is definitely one of the best, if not the best characters in the game. And CT0, who won the Invitational, showed that, how good of a character that Zero Suit Samus is going to be, because she seems pretty much better than her Brawl incarnation, which was still a very solid character in and of herself.
So, Dakota, I have one last question for you. So, I was talking to Toronto Joe. I keep saying Tokyo.
Tokyo Joe, wow.
Joe. Toronto Joe, Tojo, one of our Smash friends. And I was just asking him about, what problems he may have had with the game. And he talked about how there may be some issues, after you land on the ground, the recovery doesn't take as quick as it should be. Did you have any mechanical issues with the game that you hope Nintendo fixes up before it releases?
Well, I wouldn't say mechanical things, because that's not really a mechanical thing. The mechanics of the game, I guess I would say, are solid. And again, I'm not a game developer, so I'm sure I'm probably missing a lot of things here. But yeah, what Joe is going on is something called landing lag. And pretty much when you use an attack, there's startup lag and there's ending lag. There's the frames it takes for you to use the attack. The attack, when you input an attack, there's an animation. And the character isn't always attacking the entirety of that animation. There's, a part where they're, getting started up, and then they attack, and then there's the cooldown and all that. When you use an attack in the air, is a different situation where if you use an attack in the air and then you land soon after, or relatively soon after, your character kind of crouches and lands, hard on the ground. In Melee and Smash 64, you could cut this lag in something called L canceling or Z canceling by hitting the L or Z button as you land on the ground after using an aerial A attack. In Brawl, that was removed. And in Smash, in Brawl, actually, you could do things called auto canceling. If you use an attack, at a certain time in the air or distance from the ground, and then land, there won't be any lag if you do it correctly. But that requires a lot of spacing, and you can't go in as hard because it's more about timing of the attack or the spacing rather than the usage of it. So pretty much in Smash 4, there's a lot of landing lag when you use these aerial A attacks and you land on the ground and you try and approach more. So if that was cut down, I don't want L canceling added, but L canceling could kind of remedy that. But I would just like less landing lag universally. Also, more ability, more ways to, more movement options. I'm not saying a wave dash, but being able to crouch out of dash. Instead of just having to dropping your pulling up your shield to stop a dash or jumping, being able to crouch and then attack would be a really solid offensive option. Maybe even making shields a little less powerful as they are. It's still, shield grabbing is still a really strong option, just like it was in Brawl. But then other things, like the boundaries on the stages, the blast zones, the lines in which you cross when you die, are really, really far and a wide and huge in a lot of the stages for like absolutely no good reason. Like even on Battlefield, the bottom blast zone is so deep. If those were brought in a little bit, I think that would help with the fact that a lot of players seem to be dying a little later than they should be. I feel like kills were coming a little too slow. And other than that, I mean, some people are saying maybe the throw lag, that the fact that there's a lot of lag after by the user after throwing somebody, so you can't follow up as quickly. Maybe getting rid of that, and just better ways to follow up on an opponent after you get a hit. Things like that. I think that those are the sentiments that are being kind of spread around by competitive players and in majorities. And I can definitely say I agree with some of them. At the same time, the game, I think, will address some of these things in the course of what we've seen now and in the final release. I know that that's the build that we played at the Invitational and Best Buy isn't the only one. That's definitely, obviously because they had to make a demo, they have to, kind of ship this game in demo mode while they're in development. So, we may not even be playing what's close to what's the final release. So hopefully, the game is a more offensive and fun game, because it's a lot of fun, but it has potential to be even more fun, like 10 times more fun, if they, allow characters to be more offensive and kind of, get more aggro rather than playing defensive. Because, Brawl, which is the most recent Smash game, kind of favored, the defender. Rather than the attacker.
And the other quick thing I want to point out is on this version as opposed to other versions, Nintendo has the ability to patch the game. So even if something comes out and a lot of players are very dissatisfied with maybe one small thing here or there, Nintendo can come in a month later and patch the game to get rid of it or add something.
Yeah, I definitely think that we'll see probably the Smash. I don't see the Smash 3DS version changing much, but I do see when the Wii U version comes out, I do see the Wii U version being different, and then the 3DS version being patched to be like the Wii U version. The thing is that these opinions have been very vocal, and a lot of people have kind of agreed, and I think I think that's getting through. So I would hope that the developers are going to trying to hopefully nip the problem in the butt now rather than patching it later, because they should know if they think that they're going to have to patch something later for players, they should know that players probably aren't happy 100% right now. So instead of making the game as it is and then patching it later, just address it now. And I think this is the time when it's going to be addressed. So again, I'm confident that our perspective on the game is definitely getting through, because the game is a lot of fun. We just want to see it become the best game it can be, and it can be so much better. And that's not even to say that the game's not good, because it is. It's just it's nearly there. That's what I've been saying. It's nearly there. It's a very, really, really solid game. It's nearly there.
All right, so you heard it all here, but also make sure to check back to NintendoEnthusiast.com. Dakota will be putting up his thoughts on the game, as well as some of our other Smash media people who were at the event, who wrote about Smash. Those articles are also going to be up on our site, so make sure to check that out. And we'll see you guys next time, where we're going to talk all about Nintendo's digital event. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys then.